Dieudonne Gnammakou is a historian of Beninese descent and a Slavic scholar. His research on Pushkin and his ancestor Hanibal received international acclaim, which prompted a new era in the study of Pushkin's African ancestry, both in Russia and around the world. During a visit to our studios, our reporter Renee Bissohong discussed with him his new book and the reason for the centuries-old controversy surrounding Pushkin's origin. Here's the interview.
The earlier historian who wrote about Hanibal or Pushkin ancestor, why did they find it so difficult to, because it seemed like there was a debate about the origin, exactly where he come from, and when obviously he himself kind of written down where he actually came from. Why do you think that there was so much controversy, or why they didn't take his word for what he was, basically?
Yes, I think that's that's a major question, a major point, because I think many scholars, European scholars and American scholars, are annoyed or disturbed by the fact that I did that research at that time 20 years ago, because they were used to talk about Pushkin, to study Pushkin, to teach Pushkin at universities, teaching even the universality of Pushkin, of his work, without mentioning his Africanness, without mentioning that he was of African descent. So one could be universal without having any African connection, you see. So I think when my book was published and my other research regarding the influence of Africa on Pushkin and on Pushkin's literary creation, it disturbs some scholars. Pushkin wrote in his poetry about Africa, and he introduced African characters in his literary works. He wrote plays about Egypt, one of his plays, Egyptian Nights, another play about Cleopatra. So Africa was present in Pushkin's mind and in Pushkin's literary creation. And it seems that some scholars were not interested in developing this aspect and to remind the public that the greatest Russian writer was of African descent and that this African descent influenced him. I would like the public to discover the story of that great African, to know more about his important contribution to not only to Russia but to the sciences, because he was a great mathematician, he was an engineer. He even introduced the culture of potatoes in northwest Russia, and now there is a species of potatoes which bears his name.